this is such a big part of what I work for, you know. So many people who connect with you. 10-year-old girl comes up and she's like, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Sweet.
It's just my heart just melts, you know. So I think that obviously just overpowers everything for me, like the negativity, the trolling and everything. Just look at the love and support that there is. Giving back love, giving back positivity, just creating a kind environment, a supportive environment for everyone is what I was aiming for. And I feel like, as you said, this happens to so many young kids out there, you know, it happens to almost everyone, you know. So I just wanted them to not feel like they're alone. I was very thin, as I still am in school, so they'd make fun of like my toothpick legs or...
Really? What did they say?
Just like calling me chicken legs or toothpick legs or whatever, like stuff like that. And also I was very hairy in school, so they used to like, I used to have hair on my arms and all when I was young, so they used to make fun of that and all. So all those things, they used to call me hunchback because I used to have a slouch.
She is a true blue social media star. With over 16 million followers, she's a darling. Do I love her? With all my heart. Today I have Ananya Pandey joining us for a conversation, sharing her story, which is filled with a lot of positivity and kindness, something that she preaches even when she deals with trolls online. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I feel...
Tell everyone how I'm your good luck charm and how you
Yes,
start
I
all your
have to. I
segments.
was going to say that only.
I'm just
that
saying before
it
you
has
say
to. My chat shows have to begin with her, and I have this thing that मेरे chat show में अगर अनन्या नहीं आई तो शायद वो उतना अच्छा ना चले. So
a lot of pressure, huh? Now.
now this better work.
I'm scared. Okay.
But you know, Ananya, I love what you are doing. There is a sense of calm and kindness to what you're preaching online. It is a difficult space, but before we get into that, because when we were presenting her story, it's a celebration of women who in their own little ways are trying to make a change in the perception and societal judgment that happens with everybody, with you, me, everybody present here, I'm sure. So thank you, because you've raised a voice which many other actors or even I couldn't raise, maybe as a media professional. So thank you for that. And firstly, I'll start off with this, that, you know, how were you as a kid when you were in school? Because when we talk about bullying, a lot of it starts when you are very young and we don't even realize what it is, how it is.
So as a kid, I think I was a very, I was sometimes very outgoing, like at a birthday party, if someone said get up and dance, I'd be ready to get up and dance and all of that stuff. But then somewhere, it's weird because when I had to like audition for school plays and stuff, I'd get really shy and I'd chicken out. So I feel like there were moments when I'd be like really confident and stuff. And then actually I think I was very confident when I had my girls with me. I feel like when I did like dance performances with my girl best friends, then I would get my confidence from my friends in a way. But then when I had to audition for something alone and all, I would get very scared and you know, all of that stuff. So I was a mix of like nervous and you know, all of and being outgoing also. But in school, I think, as I said, I was surrounded by a really solid group of friends and I had my girls, you know, to turn to whenever I needed. And I also had like my parents and even the teachers in my school were really, really nice. So I wouldn't say that I was bullied or anything. There was obviously like some teasing in school, you know, if you liked a boy, then they'd tease you with them, or because I was very thin, as I still am in school, so they'd make fun of like my toothpick legs or...
Really? What did they say?
Just like calling me chicken legs or toothpick legs or whatever, like stuff like that. And also I was very hairy in school, so they used to like, I used to have hair on my arms and all when I was young, so they used to make fun of that and all. So all those things, they used to call me hunchback because I used to have a slouch. But like, I feel like I always got through it because of my friends. I feel like that's where I derive my like positivity and my self-confidence from.
But Ananya, do you feel that at such a tender age when we go through bullying, like I have been through a lot of bullying, let me be very honest, like there have been things, I've been called out names, I've been called out even on comments.
Yeah,
like
don't
sometimes
start
you know,
about comments.
Yeah, it sometimes people call you a eunuch, call you कि ये लड़का है, लड़की है, कैसे बात करता है, कैसे चलता है, कैसे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. So you know, there was a point when I was 12, I think when you get bullied too much, you have a certain resistance to it and then it stops affecting you. Then you are like कि कोई कुछ भी बोले फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Did you reach that point anytime in life?
I feel like I'm reaching that point. I feel like it's like an ongoing process. I can't say that it still doesn't hurt me, because I feel like I am pretty thick-skinned and I am pretty strong, because as you said, when it's been happening from such a young age, then you kind of develop that thick skin. But I feel like still one day, if you're not in the right frame of mind, if something happened at work and then on top of that you see something, then it can hurt you. Like if I say that it doesn't hurt me, I'd definitely be lying, because there are days when I'm like, but why? You know, what did I do that's like so wrong that people, you know, get it? And I feel like when people attack your personality, that's like the worst thing that someone can do, because that's purely you. That's like yourself, you know. So I feel like it does hurt when people say that, oh, her voice is so irritating, oh, why is she talking like this? And there's like 1,000 people, you know, doing my mimicry and all of that stuff. But I feel like you just have to develop a thick skin and just be as positive as you can be, as kind as you can be, and make sure you don't let someone feel that way, is what I feel like you can do. You can't go and control other people's lives or their opinions and all of that stuff, but you have to try to be that better person.
Absolutely.
The bigger person in the situation. Yeah.
But you know, when you started off really young. Something that I always, I'm really proud of you because of the way you handled yourself. It's not easy for a 19, 20, 21-year-old to deal with so much hate online from people you can't even answer back to. You did that from a really young age. Do you remember the first time that happened to you? And how did that affect you? Because the first time is always the most brutal one, I feel.
I don't remember the exact time, but I remember there used to be pictures of me with my parents, because that time I wasn't an actor, so you know, I'd go out with my parents and stuff. And as I said, I was very thin, I didn't look, you know, people used to say I look like a boy, I'm like a flat screen, I look like all those kind of things. So I feel like at that time it did hurt, because those are the years where you're forming your self-confidence and you know, you're learning to love yourself. And then when you feel like someone else is pulling you down, then it really just then you start doubting yourself, you start doubting the way you look and everything. But I feel like now, slowly, I'm reaching a point where I'm just focusing on accepting myself and loving myself. Like I feel like if that is sorted and that's my foundation and my base, then nothing can hurt me, because I'm at peace with myself and I love myself. I'm not saying it's happened, it's an ongoing process, and I think the realization that that is more important than what anyone else says is what's important.
But has it ever happened that you have defined yourself with what people define you with? And how did you deal with that situation?
100 times. I mean, like, if I said something in an interview, then for the next interview I'd be overly cautious. I actually would probably say no to a lot of interviews after that. You know, I'd kind of get like this fear of public speaking after that. You know, if I say something wrong in an interview, then I'm just scared of public speaking. The next time I go out, I'll be overly conscious and I'll be overly careful, which is a good thing. You should be careful, but it shouldn't come in the way of what you want to say and what you are trying to actually say, and if you're not saying anything wrong in the first place. So I feel like those kind of things, it does affect you and it plays with you mentally. Even if you try not to, subconsciously somewhere it plays a part. But the only way to deal with it is, I think you have to learn to filter out the good stuff and the bad stuff. Like you have to filter out what is positive criticism, what is something you can actually work on. Like I feel like sometimes when I'm giving an interview or when I'm speaking to people, I tend to speak very fast and I don't think about what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is not actually wrong, but I could have framed it in a better way. I always feel that way. Like when I look back or I hear myself say something, I'm like, okay, I could have worded that better, because what I'm trying to say then doesn't come across. So I feel like you can filter out the good stuff and then, you know, take in what's good and then leave out what's bad.
But again, you know, when you talk about framing it in the right way, however you frame it, it's up to the people who are watching and reading. It's their perception, it's the way they kind of take it, the way they interpret it. So I want to ask you that, you know, when you talk about the kind of exposure that an actor has, especially in today's times because of social media boom, you're born in that generation, right? Like when we were 10, 12, there was nothing called social media. But when you were 10, 12, of course, there was social media and everybody. So there's a constant intrusion too. How do you deal with that? Because I remember in Fabulous Lives, Arjun comes and tells Mahit Kapoor that, you know, you have to let her be and she has to go through all this. She will get the brickbat, she'll get the love. Were you prepared for it from the beginning?
Quite honestly, like, I love social media, you know, even though
Yeah.
there are these downsides of it with the negativity and the trolling and the hate, but I feel like social media is also it's helped so many people, you know, it's helped people get jobs, you know, there's so many social media influencers out there. It's made the world more connected. I can keep in touch with my friends. It just gets information passed on much quicker. And then I get a lot of love also on social media. Like I get to speak to my fans, I get to like interact with them. So I've always loved social media. I've loved Instagram especially. You know, I like putting up pictures. Like right now, even before the interview, I was like, oh, what caption should I put? And I know people hate my captions, but I have too much fun doing it. So I feel like...
Who are these people?
कौन है वो? But honestly, I just feel like there has to be a sense of balance, because you need to draw the line. You need to not get so consumed in it that you believe that this is the entire world. Like it's not at all. I don't even think it's like 5% of the actual world. There's so many other people out there. So I feel like you need to kind of differentiate that this is a part of your world. It's not your full world. So I think that's something that helped me deal with the exposure in a way.
Kriti Sanon, few months ago, wrote something that connected with me, you know, and I'm not talking about actors or public faces. I've seen that happening to normal people also, that we are so much in tune with social media today. We are always putting up a happy face.
Yeah, no one shows their failures on Instagram.
Yeah, it's become, so she said that, you know, the real world is something else, and this is the fakest place ever. People are just faking happiness. People are not coming out with their true emotions, not because they don't want to, but because if they do, especially you guys will be judged even more. You know, sometimes even if you don't tweet about something, it's a problem. Sometimes even if you tweet about something, it's a problem. So how do you get a middle ground there? Do you also feel that there's a constant pressure?
No, there is a constant pressure, definitely. I feel like to put on your best face, to always say the right thing at the right time to the right person. There's always that pressure. But personally, I just try to be as myself as much as I can on Instagram. You know, if I put up a really dolled up picture, then I also put up a picture of me just chilling at home and being normal, because that's how I am mostly.
Serial chiller.
Serial chiller, honestly. I don't dress like this all the time. Like this took like 2 hours of hair, makeup, styling and everything. At home, I'm in my same pajamas. I have the same pajamas and I wear them every day. And my mom's been trying to burn them for the longest of time, but like I love it too much. And I'm like, with my chashma and all at home. So I try to put that side out there as much as I can. But I agree with what she said. You know, people don't post their failures on Instagram. What you see and what reality is completely different. So you need to kind of take a step back and view it for what it potentially could be and not what you just see.
You know, I remember in the first few months that I met you, right after student, there was a point that you were questioned and you had to put out things to prove yourself. It happened with my interview. We had done a Mother's Day interview and you had spoken about how you had left out on a scholarship to concentrate on films. Do you feel that had you not been Ananya Pandey, you wouldn't be questioned so much sometimes? Because I feel that, to be honest.
Yeah, because you're not exposed to that many number of people. You know, if 10 people are listening to you, then one person will raise a question. But if 100 people are listening to you, then 10 people. It just goes on and on with the number of people that are listening to you. But honestly, the good side of it just outweighs the bad side of it. Like I'm very lucky, I'm very blessed and grateful to be in this position that I get to do what I love every single day. So I just want to make the most of this opportunity and just work on myself, get better at my craft and just improve every single day. So I think that I don't even think about that. I don't want to think about not being in this position, because I'm in this position and I just want to make the most of it.
You know, when you talk about being slim shamed also as a kid and the kind of comments that you spoke about, this is a kind of body shaming as well. I remember speaking to your mom, and initially it was, your film was just releasing, I remember, and she was bothered by the kind of comments that were coming, the little negative comments that were coming. Do you think that has had an evolution today?
My mom's strength? Definitely. I feel like as a parent, no one would want to see anyone say anything to their, children. And I get that little bit because I have a younger sister. So if someone said something about my younger sister, I would go crazy. But if someone said something about me, I'd be fine, So I think it's just that protective nature. And I feel like I don't know if it'll actually ever go away, because it's a maternal instinct, I don't think it'll ever go away. I think she's dealing with it better because her show also came out and she's dealing with her own things now. But I don't think that's something that'll go away, it's just a maternal.
But her reactions at one point, did that make you feel a little, scared? Because I remember that she used to get a lot more affected than you did in the beginning, especially. Did you calm her down at any given point?
I didn't have to. I feel like, because when there's my mom, there's also my dad, who's like super chill. Anyone, anything says, he's like, whatever, I'm joking, all of that stuff, So I think I have that kind of yin and yang kind of scene in my life where one side is a certain way and the other side. So I'm just blessed to have both sides of it. If I'm feeling a certain way, I can go to my dad. If I'm feeling a certain way, I can go to my mom.
Which is lovely.
So, yeah.
You have always been kind. I remember we did this segment also some time ago previously with you, where you were responding to trolls. And those comments were also kind, but this is your general nature. Not many know that this is how you are. And was this the reason you came up with a DSR like So Positive?
Yeah, I think definitely that is the reason I came up to it, because I just don't believe by giving back hate, it is really helping the situation. It's just making it a more toxic environment. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, basically. And I just feel like giving back love, giving back positivity, just creating a kind environment, a supportive environment for everyone is what I was aiming for. And I feel like, as you said, this happens to so many young kids out there, it happens to almost everyone, So I just wanted them to not feel like they're alone, because when you're in a situation like this, you feel like you're alone, no one's going to understand you, you can't talk to anyone, sometimes you don't feel like your parents will understand or your teachers will understand. So I just wanted to create an environment where people know that they have people also in similar situations, where they can talk it out, and also where they can know the right way to get help, when developing a lot of things where getting contacts of the right people that they can talk to, and guidance counselors, people in the police if they want to speak to. So we're developing all of that. So I just want to show people the way, the right direction is what
when I follow that page, I had shared my story also of bullying, and then I see so many videos, and everybody has a different kind of challenge in life. Majority of them do realize that they are actually hurting you.
They just want attention, and then when you give it, then they're like, oh, okay, hi, I just wanted to say hi. So it's funny, and I just smile. It confuses people.
But has any particular comment, like a troll, affected you the most? Do you remember, like, if I ask you right away, point blank, what is it that comes to your mind?
For me, it's always been when people say something about my parents or my sister. I think for me, I can take a lot of trolling on myself and all. Like, I've kind of become immune to it in a way. But when it's about my family, then I get upset. I can't think of a specific one, but I know the feeling.
How do you react in that situation? Because people don't really see that. People
I abuse a lot in my head, and then I'm like,
honestly speaking, I'll take this moment to say this, that the reason why I am so proud of you is because I don't know at 22, sorry, at 22, if I would be, I don't know if even if at 28 I would be able to handle the hatred that you deal with on a daily basis, to be honest. And I just want to tell people that you guys should know what you're doing to the self-esteem of any person. Yours is not shattering because you have a really towering one, but there are so many girls, boys, kids, men, women, uncles, aunties, grandfathers, grandmothers whose self-esteem is not so high, and that can get shattered with just one comment.
I feel like people don't understand like one small thing. They could be copy pasting that on everyone's page, but that one person who reads it and that's something that they're anyway doubting about themselves, like it can really just change everything. So
also, when it's social media, there is a good side to it too. Like, you reach out to your fans. Whenever I post a question sticker, I only get questions about you. And today also I posted, so majority of people said either it's Kriti or it's you, because they know that these are the alliances that I have. How do you deal with the love that comes? You
open my arms and accept it. I just love my Ananyans or my fans. They're adorable. They're all, little girls and little boys, and they make the sweetest collages and videos and edits, and just like 3-minute long compile videos of each other, and they've all become friends, and there's so many groups on Instagram also, and I reply on those groups. I try to, as much as I can, reply and like things and message them on their birthdays and everything. But I know every actor feels like this, but I genuinely feel like I have the best fans in the world.
I want to know that when it comes to love, you also get to reach out to so much more. when you set out, you've always wanted to become an actor, right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of recognition and love that you always craved for.
Yeah.
So does this make you happy?
Yeah, I feel like this is such a big part of what I work for, you know, like obviously like I work for my craft and I work for what eventually comes out and my self-satisfaction and all of those things. But I feel like this is so important as well. Just the love, just the warmth, and not even the recognition, the love, you know, just so many people who connect with you, and so many, you know, when a young like 10-year-old girl comes up and she's like, I want to be like you when I grow up,
sweet.
it's just my heart just melts, you know. So I think that obviously just overpowers everything for me, like the negativity, the trolling and everything. And I've been able to see that more clearly now. I think first I used to only focus on the bad stuff. Like, you know, if you have 10 good comments and one bad comment,
It
you'll only
affects you more,
focus
yeah.
on that negative one. But then just look at the love and support that there is.
But you know, you are setting out to create a kinder atmosphere, and kindness is in the order of the day. Given what we've been through, you know, the whole pandemic-like situation where kindness only kept us alive, I
Yeah.
think this is the time that we preach for a kinder atmosphere and kinder people and just kindness,
Yeah.
like
Kindness
kind
is cool.
journalism, kind everything.
Kind everything, yeah.
So thank you. And on that note, we'll move on to our fun segment where we'll check how much you know your other female warriors.
Okay, fine, let's do it.
So we are back with Ananya for our fun segment, which is titled I Am She. So here we are going to give you 7 Insta bios. It can be Insta or Twitter, I'll tell you.
Twitter, I don't know, huh?
Yeah, but mostly Insta.
Okay.
From what I remember, I've done Insta bios.
Okay.
You have to get 5 of them correctly, and we give you a
I
hand
should be
count.
overconfident actually.
Okay?
No.
It's all powerful women who are doing a fantastic job.
Okay.
First one, okay? Moody, floaty.
Alia. Moody, floaty, fire and desire, right?
Oh wow, amazing. I must say, finish bhi nahi karne ko mila. Okay, second one is uncomplicate with 2 butterflies.
Kriti?
Yeah, my goodness, this
I
is difficult.
swear I didn't. It's gonna seem like it's rigged, but I swear I actually know everyone's bio on Instagram.
Oh my goodness, this one is a little difficult though. I am,
What?
but it's just I am. No cheating there.
No, they won't know only.
ऐसे तो ढूंढ
Can I
ढूंढने को
guess?
मिलेगा. हाँ.
Tapsi?
No.
Okay, give me a hint.
She is an older actress, and she's created a revolution when it comes to parenthood.
Skip.
Okay.
Wait, who? I don't know. I'll come back.
You said Kareena, but
No, I didn't.
It's not-
I didn't say Kareena. I didn't. Kareena's is this.
yeah, that's true. Sushmita Sen. Okay.
I knew that.
You you clearly
I
did.
swear I did. Okay. More.
Where the fun and drama personifies.
I don't know this. Oh my god. I'm getting stressed. Give a hint.
It's again.
They're giving wrong answers purposely.
It's again somebody who's very feisty. Yeah.
Okay, Tapsi.
Yeah.
Fun and feisty.
Yeah, she is Tapsi. Okay. Actor, dreamer, leader, and climate warrior.
Bhumi.
Yeah, it is Bhumi. You won the ham. No, you've not.
Ask more.
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. अभी तक hamper आया नहीं.
I think Sushmita I knew.
Throw happiness around like a confetti.
Could be anyone, honestly. It's not mine.
Yours is serial chiller.
Yeah. Give a hint.
She romanced an older hero in one of the most popular films of 2019, released in summer.
Not Kya.
Summer 2019. The movie was also like that. That the older hero dates a younger heroine.
Rakul.
Yes, it is
Okay.
Rakul. But this,
I'm cheating now. Okay,
Yeah, you
wait.
are.
No.
हाँ, खुद ही
I'm
बोल
not
रही है,
cheating. I'm just like asking for more hints, which is fine.
which is fine. And the last one you
See,
will
I
get.
gave Kareena's an extra one, which was not there, so I should get one more point. Then I can name some other ones which are not included.
I don't know how to say it, but I think I'm going to pronounce it right. Atraversiamu.
This used to be mine at some Tara. It's Tara's,
It is
right?
Tara's.
Then I can tell you Anushka's. At the end of the day, we all are just walking somebody home. That's Anushka's.
What is Deepika's?
Foodie or something. I don't know.
Deepika's is
Deepika's
nothing.
nothing. Huh?
Nothing.
Deepika's is nothing. But I gave one extra.
But I think you won it anyway.
You want to win more? Ask more. I love this game.
You were fantastic.
Thanks.
There were times that, if I didn't stalk their profiles today just to see the bios, I stalked them but I've never read the bios. I wouldn't have known. So I do feel that you are fantastic and you completely and truly deserve this.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really heavy, but it's filled with a lot of good things.
Put it here. But thank you for doing this, Ananya. And nothing that I do is ever complete when you don't come. So thank you for doing this again. You will always be my lucky charm, and maybe I have become a lot kinder seeing you. And I think the world needs more kind people like you do.
Thank you.
And just love you. That's all I'll say.
Thank you.
And I just want to tell people that it was Ananya Pandey presenting her story to you. And if she can, you can too. So you must make that effort.
Hi guys, I'm Ananya Pandey. You're watching me on Bollywood Bubble. Please like, share, comment and subscribe.